Puma are in a little bit of a slump, it seems, with too many colourways and none of their boots really hitting. Nothing's really changing the landscape or getting people interested, particularly when it comes to the Puma King, which is kind of the forgotten stepchild, especially when it comes to this brand new K-Beta upper that really hasn't resonated with anybody. I don't really see anybody asking about or being interested in the King. However, Puma are literally sitting on the answer, and the answer is right here. This is a Puma King. It's a fantastic Puma King. It's a Puma King that didn't get a worldwide release, that if it did, might actually resurrect the whole King line, or even better, they should just replace the current Puma King Ultimate with this, because I think the difference and the impact that would make would be insane. And I got these for under €100. These boots are incredible, and Puma need to start taking them seriously. So firstly, what the hell have we got here? This is the Puma King Marai. Now that is a model that's been available in Japan for quite some time, but this is their most recent model, which does contain a K-Beta upper as everything transitions away from leather. However, look at this K-Beta upper, how soft and unbelievable that is compared to this, which is a reasonably stiff, thin, nothing at all like leather K-Beta on the current King Ultimate. Yes, my King Ultimate has a floating tongue. It's because it's the King Ultimate HG. Same boot, slightly different design, different outsole. Anyway, this is incredible. So, straight away, if you want to buy a pair, what size should you buy? I went down half a size in the King Marai. So, I wonder if you can see here, I have these in a US 7.5, UK 6.5, 25.5 centimeters. I would normally buy a 26 centimeter boot. So I have a 26 centimeter long foot. I correspond that to the 26 centimeter on the Japanese sizing chart. However, in this instance, 25.5 is the better way to go. So if you can get hold of a pair, go down half a size. I got mine from the Lockhart Boot Blog, very good friend of mine, my podcast co-host, so a huge thank you to him. Please go and drop him a follow. But if you want to get hold of a pair, your best bet might be getting in touch with Tokyo Football. I don't know if they will be able to help you out, but it's well worth asking. Let's talk about width and shape. So these are going to be a pretty good option for wide feet, particularly if you have a wider midfoot. There is plenty of room in there, and this soft upper does help you push out into the side of it. You have a very structured upper down this side here, which does help the overall stability of the boot. And if you ever picked up a pair of the Puma 1s, you see it's a very similar design where you've got this big soft contact area, then a really stable piece through here, and it really does work very, very well. It's not the widest boot, and there is a slightly narrower section just here, but I have a wide foot and I don't have any problems with these at all. However, if you do have a wider foot, you are concerned about it, just don't go down half a size like I just said. Overall, shape, fit, comfort, these are supreme. I absolutely love them. Even this floating tongue, which might feel a little bit thin, has padding up through this midsection here, and you get absolutely zero lace bite. It is just, it's so good. Like, it's so comfortable. I love it, and you should already be going somewhere to try and find yourself a pair, in my opinion. It's fantastic. Let's take a look at the outsole, which is this HG outsole, which is actually the same as the HG outsole you can see on my Puma King Ultimates here. And this is a really fantastic outsole, really well balanced, really well put together, and a fantastic FG and AG option. So if you can get hold of this, not only is it going to be a great boot, it's also going to be very, very versatile. Big fan of this. Also, nice and stable. Decent amount of spring back, nothing incredible, but suits the boot very nicely because of this soft kind of padded feel, and then decent amount of rotational movement. It's a great, really excellently balanced sole plate that Puma should use more worldwide, not just on these HG Japan models. So what are my two favorite things about the boot? Well, I haven't made nearly enough of a big deal about this K Better upper just yet, because holy word. Now, this isn't leather. You can tell this isn't leather. It's not like the Asics boots, for example, that have a really leather-like feel. You can't convince somebody that this is leather in terms of its feel. It's a little bit plasticky, a little bit shiny, but the softness of it is absolutely unbelievable, and it's like it out of the box, and then it just beds in even more, even after just, I've only had these out for maybe an hour or something like that, and just absolutely mind-blowingly good. It is slightly thicker when you put everything together with the softness, the foam that's underneath, the stitching that's creating the pillowing. It is a very padded, very elegant touch and feel on the ball. So if you're looking for barefoot, it's absolutely not this, but it's just so good, and it absolutely kicks the ass of anything Puma have been doing with K Better recently. Like, I think the Puma King Pro does probably a better job than the Puma King Ultimate, and it's nothing when compared to the King Marai. I could find about 8 other things to pick as my favorite, including like this power cage design for the stability on the outside of the boot is really excellent. But we're going to go with the outsole overall. I think it's balanced. I think it suits the boot really well. Very, very positive. Big fan of this outsole. One of my two least favorite things about the boot, well, it's actually hard to find things that I don't particularly like. I genuinely think this is excellent. Everything from the shaping, the fit, the materials, it's really, really good. So one thing is obviously the availability. These are super hard to get hold of outside of, for example, Japan. You cannot get these in the EU, in the UK. You can't get them in the US, not easily at least. So that is a huge downside. And I could go for a bit more padding in the heel. I think the heel area is fairly minimal. The shaping is actually very good and holds onto my foot very nicely, but a little bit more padding, and to change it from just having this big kind of like section that just runs over here, just really kind of turn that over, stitch it all together, and just operate with a little bit more padding in the back there, just to improve the comfort, would be very, very beneficial. You could argue maybe some imbalance if you really went looking for it with this incredibly stable section against a really soft section, but it all comes together so nicely, and this K Better is absolutely worth it with the touch and feel on the ball being as it is. So let's talk about competition. How do these stack up against, for example, the Puma Kings that you can buy and other boots in its genre, in its collection, such as the Nike Tiempo? Well, firstly, I much prefer this to the Tiempo Legend 10. It's a very different touch and feel on the ball, but I just think this upper, the softness of it, and this amazing balanced outsole just make it really, really great. I really do love this boot. When you compare it to what you're getting on the King at the moment, so you got the Ultimate, this is the previous generation Ultimate, we've got the Pro, it kicks all of their asses so unbelievably, it's ridiculous. Now, for me, I think if Puma were to put a little bit more investment into this K Better upper design, make it a little bit more kind of leather grain, really move it into the direction that Asics have gone with their synthetic leathers, this could be very, very special. I don't think this has reached the level of, for example, those Asics boots, the X-Fly 6 or the DS Lite X-Fly Pro 3, but it is an excellent, excellent football boot, and one that you should definitely check out. If you do want to check out my review of the X-Fly Pro 3, which would be something that I would take over this but costs a lot more money, you can click on this video right here.